NetBiome-CSA, strengthening European research cooperation for smart and sustainable management of tropical and subtropical biodiversity in outermost regions and overseas countries and territories. The European Union includes 34 overseas territories, 9 outermost regions, ORs, geographic areas that are a part of a European Union member state but situated outside of Europe, and 25 overseas countries and territories, OCTs, having a special relationship with one of the member states of the EU and a special association with the EU itself. The OCTs are linked to 4 member states: Denmark, France, the Netherlands and the United Kingdom. From polar to tropical latitudes, these areas host 70% of Europe's species diversity: terrestrial, freshwater and marine species and ecosystems of global significance. In fact, these sometimes remote hotspots of biodiversity harbor more endemic animal and plant species than the whole of continental Europe. French Guiana includes an area of Amazon rainforest the size of Portugal. Europe overseas also hosts more than 20% of the world's coral reefs and lagoons. ORs and OCTs are key actors for the implementation of international and regional conservation targets and to foster regional cooperation in crucial areas of the world. The rich biodiversity of Europe's overseas supports the daily needs of local populations and their sustainable development. It is a source of prosperity and income through the provision of food and the attraction of tourists, but it is also extremely vulnerable to human activities and to the effects of climate change.
Valorization of biodiversity is a way to valorize local resources inside of a country.
How we can teach future generations how to appreciate our biodiversity, that everything rests, and how they use the natural resources that are around them would affect the ecosystem and would really do damage to what we now regard as a very rich biodiversity that's of value to all.
To face the present challenges to the conservation of this rich biodiversity, we need to reconcile nature protection with the sustainable human development by bringing together the civil society, the scientific community and the policy makers, and by setting and pursuing common goals and objectives. These are the aims of the NetBiome Partnership. The NetBiome Partnership grew from a NIRA-Net, a consortium between OR and OCT-based science funding institutions. The focus was on supporting research for the conservation and management of Europe's tropical and subtropical biodiversity. The partnership continues today in the form of the NetBiome-CSA project, looking at ways to expand and strengthen the network. Our main goals are to identify and then to address the most important challenges to the sustainable management of tropical and subtropical biodiversity in support of sustainable development. For this, we aim to motivate and bring together knowledge institutions, enterprises, government and civil society. The first NetBiome conference was organized in May 2014 in Gran Canaria, Spain. It gathered more than 40 key participants from around the world to debate about green and blue development resulting from the high biodiversity. From the discussions emerged the 4 most important challenges ORs and OCTs need to tackle in the future. Integrated biodiversity conservation through spatial planning. In small territories, consequences of human pressure are particularly important. These pressures may come from different land uses leading to territorial conflicts. The lack of a large-scale vision on the use or function of the territory may lead to fragmentation of natural habitats with the corresponding degradation of the ecosystem services. sustainable agriculture and forestry practices. Throughout the ORs and OCTs, locally adapted systems of production and the knowledge of natural resources that support them are at risk. There is a need for research efforts in agroecology, but also for recognition of local scale specificity, both for adapting European policies to local contexts and for capitalizing on empirical knowledge and practices for economic and social sustainability. Sustainable management and effective conservation of biodiversity. There is a need to structure laws and governing systems around biodiversity by adopting local and international regulations and guidelines and by building capacity within the management institutions. The public appreciation of biodiversity can be improved through simple but not simplified communication of scientific knowledge and research results about its full socio-economic value. To enhance and achieve knowledge-based decision-making in marine and coastal issues. It is recognized that marine and coastal biodiversity plays a key role via ecosystem services in the resilience of insular regions to extreme events and to climate change. The dominant economy framework is not sustaining natural capital and is a root cause of most conservation problems. Biodiversity management decisions should therefore be adopted using an evidence-based approach which matches the scale of the relevant ecological processes and is adaptive, supported by a well-designed monitoring process. With our work in NetBiome-CSA, we want to strengthen participatory and communicative management as well as raise European awareness for the importance of biodiversity in the tropical and subtropical areas overseas. We will write policy briefs and research recommendations emerging from a participatory process. Follow us on this journey to preserve and enhance the sustainability of Europe's most exotic frontiers.